Welcome to the Polytechnic University of the Philippines. The Polytechnic University of the Philippines is a government higher educational institution governed by Republic Act No. 8292, known as the Higher Education Modernization Act of 1997, and its implementing rules and regulations contained in the Commission on Higher Education Memorandum Circular No. 4, Series of 1997. PUP was established in 1904 as Manila Business School. In 1908, it was renamed as Philippine School of Commerce or PSC and merged with Philippine Normal School from 1936 to 1946. Through the virtue of Republic Act 778, PSC was renamed to Philippine College of Commerce or PCC in 1952. On April 1, 1978, PCC was converted into the Chartered State University, now known as the Polytechnic University of the Philippines, by virtue of Presidential Decree No. 1341, issued by the President of the Republic of the Philippines. For more than 100 years, PUP has been a partner of the government in providing quality, globally competitive, and industry-responsive education to bright, deserving students.
Pinakamura ang matrikula sa PUP.
Pinakamababang tuition sa buong bansa, 12 pesos kada unit.
With the lowest tuition for tertiary education, qualified faculty members, efficient administrative staff, goal-oriented leaders, and industry-responsive curricula that is at par with international standards, PUP has earned a reputation of one of the country's top higher education institutions. As an epistemic community, PUP is consistent with its commitment to produce quality graduates in various fields of specialization, working toward its goal of becoming the first national polytechnic university in the country. With 22 branches and campuses spread across Luzon, serving more than 70,000 students, the Polytechnic University of the Philippines offers more than 80 programs in the graduate and undergraduate levels. It also offers distance learning through the Open University system, technical and professional programs in the area of business and distributive arts, education in the social sciences related to the fields of commerce, business administration, and other polytechnic areas. The commitment of its leadership, faculty, staff, students, alumni, and partners has formed the cornerstone of this university that has exceeded expectations with every generation of the graduates it has produced since its establishment. Today, PUP has gone far from what it was more than a century ago, but what remains is PUP's mission to continue to be the government's partner in nation building and in poverty alleviation of the marginalized sector of society. With quality, responsive, and relevant education as a tool. PUP, the first polytechnic university.
Emerson is a global technology and engineering leader. We operate in over 150 countries. We are 110,000 employees worldwide. And here in the Philippines, we have over 2,000 employees.
My name is Vicky Florento. I'm from Dell Philippines. I'm handling the university relations and services hiring.
Pag-asa Steel supplies concrete reinforcing bars to the Philippines' booming construction industry. We have been the leading supplier of quality steel bars for the past 52 years.
EGS is an Algorica company. It is one of the fastest growing BPO companies in the Philippines right now.
I'm Cecil Venancio, and I'm Branding and Communications Director of Sykes Asia.
We don't decide whether you're from a top-tier university or a state university. We decide based on our assessments that includes exams and interviews. Having said that, a lot of Dell's workforce in the Philippines are from PUP.
55 to 80 hires annually, those coming from PUP alone. And as a matter of fact, 14 of the homegrown employees who started from staff and supervisors have been promoted.
Currently, we have 13 employees from the PUP. They're working in a different field, so most of them are an engineer, some are in sales, most of them are in the higher position.
There's a huge pool of students that we can really harvest from, and we know the reputation that they bring. So we're glad that we have a university like PUP that we can rely on for our future employees.
I love the graduates of PUP. They're not only fun to work with, but you can rely on them. They are very, very dependable.
PUP graduates are an exact match and fit to Pag-asa Steel's mission and vision.
The reason why we prefer the BEP graduates is the fact that we noticed that they have a common denominator, very hardworking. See, whatever happens, they'd still work. Even if it's raining, they'd still come to work. You give them additional tasks, they'd accept. They are resilient.
Very passionate aside from being resilient, because we can see that they're very dedicated with their job. And we've seen a lot of PUP graduates, not just in one department.
They turn out to adapt very well and adjust well to our company here in the Philippines. They're productive employees and they stay with us for a long time.
Stand out sa PUP graduate is their loyalty sa company. Integrity and ethics, drive for results, intellectual capacity, and adaptability. So when we hire PUPians, they have this kind of competencies.
Of course, they're very intelligent people, responsible in a sense because whenever we meet these graduates and we ask them what are their future plans, they would always come up with answers like helping out their family, or because I'm done with school, I'll help out another sibling. So you would know already that these kids, even before they actually embark on certain work, they already have goals in mind. They're not maarte, no? Whatever you give them, they know that if it's for the purpose of the job, they will do it. And so they have, they're the ones that survive the challenges of work. They don't shirk away from responsibilities. They're the type who, whatever the job requires, they're up for the challenge.
PUPNs enable people everywhere to grow and thrive.
PUP is one of the pillars of the nation because it is an institution that provides good graduates, people who really contribute to the success of the community or to the success of the country.
To all the people associated with PUP, if you're a graduate, congratulations, and you should be proud of yourselves. For those of you that are students, please continue the tradition, the proud legacy that your school has. Some of you, PUP, you work for us now. We appreciate you. We know you're good employees. For those of you that might work for us in the future, please consider us. We'd love to have you. We know that you make a great employee for Emerson.
PUPNs, bring everything you are. If you have big ideas, let's talk. Come work where passion meets possibility. You can visit jobs.del.com for opportunities.
To pursue your dreams and work hard for whatever endeavor you will choose. And in the event that you will choose to apply in one of the fastest BPO companies in the Philippines, I would like to invite you to apply in EGS, an Alorica company, because our doors are open for all of you.
To all the PUPNs, let's create a size of smile together.
Smart is very happy to have PUP graduates now enjoying their career and let them live more.
Hashtag Sites to PUP. We will support you in more ways than one.
Tara na, maging magkasama na tayo. Mabuhay ang PUP.
Noon pa man, malaki na ang naging bahagi ng mga kababaihan sa lipunang Pilipino. Kaisa sila sa marubdob na paghahangad ng kalayaan ng ating lahi. Kabilang sila sa paglinang ng ating makulay na sining at mayamang kultura. Kasapi sila sa pagtataguyod ng mga adhikain ng kapwa mamamayan at sa pagtugon sa mga pangangailangan ng lipunan. Katuwang sila sa pagtuklas sa mga larangan ng agham at medisina. Kapanalig sila sa pagpapairal ng batas, karapatan at katarungan para sa lahat. Kabahagi sila sa paglilingkod sa bayan at sa pagpapanatili ng demokrasyang Pilipino. Sa paglipas ng panahon, hindi nagmaliw ang kanilang pag-ibig sa ating inang bayan. Mga kababayan, ito ang alay ng mga kababaihang Pilipino para sa bayan. Tumayo po tayong lahat at sabay-sabay nating awitin ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Hi, I'm Engineer Florinda H. Oquindo, Director of the Alumni Relations and Career Development Office. The role of our office is to keep connections among students and alumni, provides complete range of services to students, alumni, and employers in the area of career development, graduates and professional schools preparations, employee relations, and campus recruitment. We also provide alumni and students with the tools and resources to help find success in all professional endeavors. To all freshmen, please come and visit us. Our office is located at N209 North Wing, 2nd floor.
Isang magandang umaga sa ating mga kaisko at kaiska na nandito ngayon. So guys, this is the last session na i-hold natin para sa ating College of Political Science and Public Administration student para as part ng kanilang enhancement this coming summer. So, by the way, I'm Professor Jane S. Pulma of the Alumni Relation and Career Development Office, and I will be your host for today's office. So, the role of our office is to provide services not just to the student, but to also to the alumni in the area of career development and placement. So, we sustain the link between the alumni or students and the employer per se. So, guys, ang topic natin ngayon ay syempre dahil next year, fourth year na kayo, 'di ba? Ay gagraduate na kayo. Isang topic na talagang magagamit nyo as you embark on your workplace or habang naghahanap kayo ng trabaho or posible naman na yung iba sa inyo habang nag-OJT ngayon ay pwede nang ma-hire ng inyong host training station. So, syempre, di ba gusto natin yun na ma-hire kayo, lalo na yung mga estudyante natin dyan na ngayon pa lang ay eligible na. So, last week, natapos yung ating Civil Service Examination Review. At ngayon, balik tayo sa isang topic na pwedeng makatulong sa inyo. Syempre, after nyo makapag-exam at syempre, positive tayo na makapasa na. Ngayon naman, ang pag-aaralan natin is resume writing, application letter, at syempre, interview tips. So, yung building a resume is important para i-equip yung isang individual sa kanyang mga skills and knowledge to create or make yung kanyang CV or resume stand out. 'Di ba? Para magkaroon siya or magland siya ng kanyang job offer. So, itong workshop na ito ay magbibigay ng konting knowledge or practical guidance sa atin and some personalized feedback and networking opportunities that could lead to improve our job search success. So, hindi ko na po tatagalin. Mamaya, wait lang. Discuss din natin ang ating webinar etiquette. Okay. So, meron po tayong dalawang participants for today's events. So, para sa ating participants, syempre, isang magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Please remember to keep your microphone always on mute while the webinar proper is ongoing. And please do remember na recorded po ang ating webinar na to and it was currently on live stream. So, mamaya po pwedeng hingin ni Ms. Reggie ng ating speaker ang inyong participation sa pamamagitan ng tataas ng kamay or pagsagot sa kanyang mga question. So, pwede rin naman na mag-raise kayo ng sarili nyong question by raising your hand or pwede rin nyo naman i-chat sa ating Zoom chat. Okay, so para naman po sa ating stream participants, so syempre hindi ko pwedeng kalimutan ang nanonood sa atin sa PUP Career Center Facebook page. Pwede nyo gamitin ang comment section ng live nito. You just have to introduce yourself with your course and section, diba? By the way, minomonitor po namin at ini-include din natin yung mga questions na pwede nating itanong sa ating speakers ngayon. At syempre, para sa lahat, please make sure na i-accomplish natin yung evaluation form na may pa-plus sa ating Zoom chat or comment section ng live na to para makareceive kayo ng digital certificate. And by the way, this digital certificate will be released in a week or two after the conduct of this webinar. And you just have to make sure to accomplish it 6 hours or sabihin na natin, sige, hanggang mamaya or bukas ng umaga para makareceive kayo ng digital certificate nyo. 'Di ba? So, hindi ko na po pahahabain ang aking introduction. Let me welcome you all, the Human Resource Officer of Tera System Inc., Miss Regeline Parulan. Miss Reg, good morning!
Hi, Ma'am. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me again. Long time no see.
Yes, ma'am. So, syempre, di ba, guys, pabigyan naman si ma'am ng isang masigabong palakpakan. Okay, thank you, ma'am. You may take away the virtual floor po.
Okay, po. So, I am going to share my screen now. I'm nervous, actually. Okay, let me see a 1 in the chat box if you can see my screen. So I'm not really sure if I can view. Okay. So again, thank you so much for having me here today. I am honored to be once again a part of your career webinar. My name is Reggie, and I am an HR officer sa umaga. Sa gabi or all the time, I am a BTS Army and a One Piece Luffy crew fan. I'm also a chef. I'm also a resume writer, which is one of the things that I am proud of. I have been a resume writer for the past decade to foreign clients, especially US and Canada-based clients. And one of my advocacies is to help students level up their career journey by providing them the application tools or the knowledge that I have learned and earned during my career as a resume writer. So I hope that today I will be able to help you get noticed. I will be sharing, I hope you get some tips or learn something how to make a resume that will give a lasting impression, same as with the interview, and then how to make a catchy application letter or the application letter that will show who you really are. And I hope at the end of this session, together we will be able to learn some empowering, useful know-how. To get started, I'd like to hear your thoughts first on what is your dream internship, or how do you imagine your internship to be, or yung mga nasa isip natin na baka naman, or sana. So please type in the chat box just a short line of, or maybe one word, how to describe your thoughts about your upcoming internship or your upcoming job application. I know some of you probably have started their internship already. Oh, you're already in the internship, all right? I'm really sorry because maganda. Okay, maganda ang kanilang internship. That's good. Now, for your upcoming job application, I'm very sure also that this would help you because this is the resume that you will carry on until your job application. So why internship applications matter, or why your job application matters? Because I'm sorry about that. Well, your internships are your stepping stones to the real jobs. So if you're in the future, whatever you're doing now in your internship will carry over or will carry on to your next real job or to the real job that you are preparing for. And many interns get hired by their host companies. So if you perform well, most probably if your company or the company that you have joined have are absorbing interns, then good for you. And lastly, the effort you put in reflects your value. When I was an intern as a chef, or I was training to be a chef, my mentor would always tell me that your work is your face. So every time we bring out a dish, I would ask myself, does this reflect me? Is this the food that I would want to eat? Is this the food that I would want to receive? In the same way, during your internship, all the efforts that you will be putting in will reflect your value in your interview and in the job interview that you'll be having in the future. When you talk about your internship, they will know the value that you have given to the company. And hearing from a group who turned hard work into history, they once said, effort makes you. You will regret someday if you don't do your best. So probably during your internship, you could feel some burnout or being tired because you're juggling your student life with your internship, with your love life, your private life. Probably you will feel some burnout or you'll feel some laziness, especially if the rains are there. However, giving in the extra effort or asking yourself or making yourself pick up or get up for the day and go to your internship and do your best would really, really mean a big difference. Now, let's make a challenge. I'm going to show you 3 resumes again in the chat box. Kindly tell me, who do you think the resume belongs to? For the first resume, he says that he's an aspiring intern seeking adventure and leadership experience, eager to support Kaizoku Fellowship projects and develop logistics skills. He is a graduate of High Seas Training Academy. His experience is as a deckhand intern in Fuchsia Village. And his skills would include team building, resilience, navigation, and his achievement is one local tug-of-war competition showcasing leadership and strength. So who do you think this resume belongs to? Any idea? An intern? Yes, an intern. Okay. But then the content could also be somebody who is applying for a job, not necessarily in the objective. Any idea? Okay, so most probably you're also lost like me before, but this resume belongs to Luffy. Even Luffy is an anime character, or even if he's a high school graduate, he has some transferable skills. What I want you to focus on are the transferable skills that he has mentioned, which could be used in other industry or is applicable to all the industries. Yes, Nami. Very good answer. Okay, next resume is a political science major with passion for youth advocacy. He is a graduate or will be a graduate of BA Political Science, but political science, and he's a student council president. His leadership skills, His skills are leadership, his multilingual strategic planning, and his achievements are he was approved as a model UN delegate. He was a part of the United Nations ambassador for self-love, and he gave a speech at the UN General Assembly, Love Yourself, Speak Yourself. Any idea to whom this resume belongs to? Anyone? Is it kind of difficult to decipher? Kim Namjoon. Very good. Very good, Miss Yesha. Corrected by, that's Kim Namjoon's resume. Ayan, Army. Okay, next resume. A political student science aiming for government internship to advance social justice, political research, analytical driven and articulate. A graduate of BA Political Science from the University of the Philippines. Her skills are in legal research, writing, public speaking, and her achievements would include Dean's Lister from 1962 to 1964. Probably we weren't born yet during this time, but she is a very famous she's very famous in the political arena, and she's also one of my favorite senators. And she's a graduate. She graduated summa cum laude from UP in political science. So any idea to whom this resume belongs to? She's famous for when she gives speeches, she has her famous lines, pickup lines. And I just love her. So I just had to put her resume here. It would, yes, correct. That's Miriam Defensor Santiago. Correct. All right. So these resumes, so why did I show you these resumes? Because it spells the groundwork for what makes a great internship resume or for what makes a great job resume. So your resume is a marketing brochure. It is a marketing brochure for you and you alone. It highlights relevant projects, leadership, and skills. So if you've noticed in the resumes that I have shown you, these are limited to focusing on your skills and your leadership and your project involvement. And if you've noticed, the resumes were tailored for your target industry. So for Luffy's, it is probably targeted for the marine industry. For BTS or for Kim Namjoon, it was probably targeted for management or could also be for political science. And for Miriam Defensor Santiago's resume, it was tailored for the political science industry or arena. It is very important that your job resume should follow these guidelines, for it would contain the important details to make your resume stand out. And these are your objective, your education, your experience. This will include already your internship and your other jobs during your school days or before you were applying for a job. However, for the job experience not related to your internship, make sure that the job experience you will be adding will be related to the position that you will be applying for in the future. Your skill set should include the technical skills, and should we put the soft skills? Not necessarily, but if the soft skills are directly related or asked for in the job description, then please put them. and your awards and your club membership. Now, for club membership or for your organization membership, this is encouraged if you are applying for an internship. But if you are applying for a job, you do not have to put your organizational membership. You just have to focus on your experience and your projects. That's the difference between an intern resume and a job resume or job application resume. And lastly, your work experience, you will include your internship if you're applying for a job. If you're applying for an intern, your work experience that could be related to the position that you are applying for. Let me emphasize this. When applying for a job, your work experience is different from your internship experience. So you should have a different section for your internship experience and your work experience. Your experience here under leadership and experience, this is where you will be putting in the projects, the relevant projects that you have been a part of. And then for the projects, you have to mention your role in the project, your contribution, the tools that you have used. Example, if you were let's say, in charge of programming or in charge of client relations, then you would put there your role would be as a liaison officer. And then what tools did you use, if any? And then what did you contribute? Were you able to translate the business need into the thesis or the capstone that you are making or into the project output? For a work resume, having an objective is optional together with the personal summary. It's not really that important for a work or a job resume because you would rather focus on your education, your projects, your skills, and awards. If you've noticed, I did not put any section about seminars because seminars, 1 day, 2 day seminars are not really relevant and do not have an impact in the resume. It will not speak too much about you. However, if your seminar is, let's say, 2 weeks, it's a 2-week seminar, and then it's like a boot camp, or you had to do some certification or training for a certification, then you may put it, especially if it is related to the job that you are applying for. Okay, now for me, this is my work resume. If you've noticed, I do not have an objective. However, after the position that I am applying for, I already placed my selling points or what I feel would give me the edge or give an impression that will make the interviewers say, oh, let's call in this person for an interview. So at the bottom here, I place my experience as an HR officer, an admin, and resume writer, and the chef. For you, you could put in the relevant skills or professional experience that you have or your main selling points related to the job ad. Okay, so it's very important. Review the job ad. What is the employer looking for? Then you can customize or you can tailor your resume to fit or to put the contents that fit the requirements of the resume. So when it comes to experience, I would suggest that you follow the STAR method. This STAR method is applicable not only to your internship application, but also to the real job application or to the real job interview and resume. So the STAR method is about situation, about the task, the action, and the result. So the task is what was the situation was the context or the challenge you faced. The task was what was expected of you. The action would be the steps you took. And the results would be the outcome. For the outcome, it's nice to put in numbers. Like, let's say, I increased customer retention by 60%, or attendance during the organizational meeting or the org meeting increased by 50%. So try to put in some figures when you are using the STAR method. Example, for a student council, for a political science student, let's say you're part of the student council. So your situation was that you were faced with low participation during organized debates, and then the task that you did would be probably posted and used social media or door-to-door invitation or active posting in org social media accounts. And then the result would be probably the attendance doubled or increased attendance by around 30%. For a business administration graduate, let's say you're making a marketing project that had poor feedback. So what did you do? You did surveys, active surveys, and door-to-door surveys probably, or a shorter, concise questionnaire. And the result would be you improved the survey feedback and you were able to gather surveys with 85 to 95% completion. So this is an example of the STAR method. When you are answering the questions, should I hire you? What makes you different? Your strength. Using the STAR method will help you answer the interview questions. It can also help you talk about your experience. So example, Luffy style STAR method, his situation is my crew was stranded after a storm. The task, I needed to get everyone safely to the nearest land. And the action, I organized watch shifts, checked supplies, and coordinated navigation. And the result, we reached the island safely in half the expected time and morale stayed high. So when practicing or composing for your interview, you can use the STAR method to answer the questions. Why should I hire you? Or what experience helped you grow as a person? And things like that. Or questions similar to that. Now, question would be, in the STAR method, should I always follow with STAR? Not necessarily. You can omit some of it or make it shorter. But the key there is you have to explain the cause and effect, or the situation, the action, and the result. Okay? Next, writing your application letter. This will also be not necessarily for interns, but also for job application. So your internship or your application letter or letter of intent, it's now being commonly asked by companies. Like probably 70% of companies will ask you to send a letter of intent, or the professional way to apply for in the industry is to send an application together with your resume. So how do you write, or what should your application letter be? What are the characteristics? It has to be specific, confident, and relevant. It has to show your personality and connect the skills that you have to what the company needs. So it's not just writing down your skills, it's connecting the skills that the company needs to what you have. So if the skills they're asking for, if you do not possess or you feel you do not have the skills that they are asking for or the skill that they're asking for, do not put it in your application letter. This is why application letters are always tailored just like your resume. You cannot copy and paste, just copy and paste from the internet. I know there are a lot of resumes, application letters in the internet. You hear a lot of advice, but I will always emphasize as a resume writer to customize and to tailor your resume and application letter. I am being paid for by international clients to customize their resume and application letter. It's not just copying and pasting and getting all the advices that you have heard or read. Okay, and last would be avoid generic or desperate language. It's not like you are seeking or yung sinasabi nilang paawa effect. Avoid that in your resume. So let's start a quick check for the good versus the bad. So the bad application letter would be just a one-liner or something that you have copy-pasted that doesn't reflect who you really are. Now, the good sample of an application letter, for the first paragraph, it will introduce a brief introduction of who you are and what you are applying for. So if you are applying for a job, instead of saying you're a third-year business administration student, you can say, I am a graduate from, of course, the school that you can mention your school. And then your interest. What is your strong interest? So I'm strongly interested in, and then the position that you are applying for and why you are applying for that particular company. Your second paragraph would be a mention of your project or your skill set and the result. The STAR method, okay, could be applied to the second paragraph. And the third paragraph would be that will encourage the employer to somehow think about you when sending out invitations or calls for initial interviews. So an application letter or a letter of intent should be tailored. That is why it's very important that your content will speak about you and you alone. In the words of Byakuya, if you know him, abandoning your name means throwing away your pride. The point of this is that your resume and your application should be your own story. It should show your own journey as a student and as an applicant. So some interview tips before, during, and after. So before, of course, research the company that you want to apply to, and then prepare your STAR stories. Like I have mentioned, this is connected to the question, tell me about yourself. Oh, sorry. This is connected to the question, what are your strengths? Or what gives you the edge? Or why should I hire you? What makes you different? Out of the many applicants, why should I consider you? Okay, so your STAR stories will help you a lot. Even in the question, what are your weaknesses? Or what do you think you need to improve in yourself? So your STAR stories can also help that. You can start with the situation, what you did to modify or to rectify the situation, and then the result. Like for me, my STAR stories, when I am asked, what is your weakness, I would always say in my interviews, my weakness is waking up early. So what I do is I have 5 alarm clocks set 30 minutes apart, and it's set to loud also. So I am sure that if I need to wake up by 5:30, my first alarm starts at 3:30 and goes on until 5:30. And if I don't wake up, my mom will wake up because of my alarm and she wakes me up. So if you will ask my former supervisor or if you will ask my professor, I was only late once or twice in a school year or once or twice during my work. If I was late, it was not because I woke up late, but because there was probably an emergency with the car or the transport that I was taking, or there was some road mishap or something, but never because I woke up late. So that is how I will be answering the question, what's your weakness, using the STAR method or my STAR stories. Okay. Next, during the interview, you have to listen, you have to be calm, you have to be authentic. This is very difficult, especially if you're already in the interview itself. Sometimes you will even experience shock, state of shock, or you will forget what you have practiced. It happened to me a lot during my first times internship and after my internship. It happened to me a lot. So what did I do? It's up to you on how you can calm yourself. But for me, I always bring a small button. This button was given by my dad when in my high school, during my high school days. So it's very important to me because it's a memory of my dad. So during my interviews, I always bring this button and I always hold it. So every time I do the interview proper, I become calm and I lose my panic because I hold on tightly to the button that I have from my dad. So it's up to you on how the technique that you would want to do, but of course, avoid moving your legs or being fidgety. That's not going to help. Some would do a lot of hand gestures during their interviews, but I would strongly advise you during your practice for an interview, minimize your hand gestures because it could be irritating to the interviewer. However, if this will help you, then keep it at a minimum. Avoid gestures like touching your nose or your hair or your ear or your chin. So these are gestures that you should avoid. You could do this. You could do the hand gesture, or like for the first, second, you could do that, or for first, second, you could do that, but keep it at a minimum and not exaggerated hand gestures. If you did not understand or you're not sure you understood the question, do not try to answer it. You might think nakakahiya, baka pag ipaulit ko baka nakakahiya. No, mas nakakahiya pag sinagot mo tapos hindi naman pala yon yung tanong na yung sagot na hinahanap nung nag-i-interview sa inyo. Bula sa Tagalog, sorry. Okay, so you have politely ask, I'm sorry, I did not understand the question. I'm sorry, kindly repeat the question. Okay? So you can always, sorry ma'am, hindi ko po naintindihan, pwede pong pakiulit. You can always ask them, the interviewer, to repeat. However, wag naman lagi-lagi, ha? Pag minsan, so let's say second time, sinagot na ni interviewer, hindi ka pa rin sigurado. So how are you going, instead of saying, ma'am, pwede hong pakiulit, don't ask that. You can say, so, correct me if I'm wrong, ma'am. What you're asking is, ang ibig niyo po bang sabihin ay ganito? Okay? So, instead of saying, yung first time, tinanong mo na kung pwede mong pakiulit. So, inulit na ni interviewer, pero hindi mo pa rin naintindihan. So, anong next na tatanungin mo? So, ang ibig niyo pong sabihin, ma'am, ang gusto niyo po bang sabihin ay ganito? Or what you're trying to, or what you mean is like this? Okay. So, ganun yung pagtanong ninyo, ha? Huwag kayong mahihiya na magtanong. Mas nakakahiya kasi pag sumagot kayo, tapos hindi naman pala kayo sure doon sa sagot or mali pala or malayo yung sagot. Okay? Ngayon, for interview also, when answering the interview questions, do not beat around the bush. Go directly to the question as much as possible. Do not use quotes. Like the question was, the interviewer asked, can you describe your team player experience? Or are you a team player? Or can you say you are a team player? What do you think about being a team player? So you will say, you can, there are those who answer, I believe that no man is an island. Because of that, as a team member, so you can eliminate the quote. No need to say, I believe that no man is an island. You can go directly. For me, being a team player means give two or three characteristics of being a team player, and then substantiate it with an experience that you have had during your college days or during your work. Okay? And then send a thank you note. This is not very common, but it is encouraged that you will it is encouraged to send a thank you note. Why? Because remember, the interviewer will be interviewing around 50 to 100 candidates. It's not just you. There would be different candidates and other candidates better than you or equally good as you. So sending a thank you note could put you at the top of the email address, the email of the interviewer, could make the interviewer remember who you are, and it would also show that you are really interested in joining the company. It's not like a robotic routine saying, okay, tapos na interview, antayin ko na lang na mag-reply siya. Kung wala, okay. Tapos saan ka na lang mag-follow up pag hindi mo narinig. Or wala ka, ano ba yun? You'll just follow up after the interview or when you haven't heard from them. So it's not really very engaging. So sending a thank you note after will help you put a mark as an applicant. So how soon is after? It could be probably, if you're interviewing in the morning, then you could put it right after. But if your interview was late into the night, then send it the following day. Afternoon, it's okay to send it also after. Okay, so at least, and then make sure that when you send a thank you note and you will make a follow-up to your application, you can reply to your thank you note. So it will be in one thread. Or it would make it would be easier for the interviewer to see the thread. Or if you sent your resume prior to your interview, then send your thank you note and your follow-up email as a thread. This way, the interviewer will not be jumping from one page to another of his or her email. They will just look at one thread and they will easily see your history or your journey with them. Okay? Now, of course, again, from BTS, they say the end and the beginning are connected. So whatever you put in at the beginning, you can also have it as something good in the end. Whatever you do in the end, it will also spell out what you did in the beginning. Okay, so if you started strong, hopefully, or chances are, you will end strong. Now, connecting internships to your career, it's very important now that you are in your internship phase. Build your connections because your internship is your career's first chapter. Okay, so use all connections, know a lot about the people that you meet because they could be your future employers, they could be your future mentors, and you could use them as references for your future application. So I would encourage you to connect now so that you will have something to hold on to in the future. Next, I would encourage you to save your documents. Aside from building relationships and maintaining contacts, you have to save your documents. You have to keep updating your documents. As early as now, prepare your resume for your job application so that you will be able to see also how you have grown, what else you need to improve on, what content do you need to change, to update, what are your marketing points or your selling points. So save the document that you have now for the internship resume that you have submitted, go back to it, look at it, and then constantly or gradually improve its content. Okay? And then, again, in the words of Goku, power comes in response to a need, not a desire. So meaning, as you build your career experience-wise, your documentation should also be upgraded. Don't wait for you to start your job application before you start building or updating your resume. So my final motivation, you are future leaders in politics, governance, and business, or probably your own business or your own career path, definitely. So keep learning, applying effort, and you'll be noticed for the right reasons. Do not be discouraged if the application didn't bring or yield the results that you wanted to. Because in applying, whether it's for internship or for it's a job, just like our love life or just like things in our life, we have what we say, it's not meant to be. Don't take it as something that is against you, but take it as an encouragement to move forward. Okay? And then lastly, your opportunities start now. Remember, you have value already. You are already valuable. With everything that you have gone through from the first day you stepped into college up to now, you are already valuable. You have already learned, you have already grown. So for me, give yourself a pat on your back. You have to be your number one fan. And that ends my presentation. I hope that somehow you have gotten some takeaways.
Okay, so
During
maraming
this break.
salamat, Miss Reggie. So guys, may tanong ba tayo? You may type on the chat box if may tanong tayo kay Miss Reggie. Or if you wanted naman, alam ko, open si Miss Reggie kung gusto nyo magpa-consult about kung meron kayong resume na pwedeng ipa-check sa kanya, alam ko willing si Miss Reggie to do that. So, guys, baka gusto nyo na at least offer yung help ni in-offer ni Miss Reggie yung help niya sa atin as professional resume writer. So, ayan. You may email at nasa chat box yung email address ni Miss Reggie. So, hindi ko na babanggitan on live. Baka biglang dumami yung i-check ni Miss Reggie.
Yes,
and it's for free. Normally, for Philippines, normally binibigay ni Miss Reggie yung consultation niya for resume writing ng for free.
by
Okay. Ayan. So guys, may tanong po ba tayo from sa ating mga estudyante, sa ating mga kais-ko at kais-ka ngayon na nandito? Ayan, you just have to type in the subject, resume advice, often close PUP po. Okay, so sa mga nandito ngayon, pwede nating i-share yung siguro yung email address ni ma'am sa ating mga classmate kasi most of them po is nasa Facebook, nasa FB Live sila. So, syempre, may mga classmates yan na nandito para at least if they needed advice para sa kanilang resume application letter, pwedeng-pwede niyo po pwedeng-pwede niya kayong tulungan. So guys, may tanong ba tayo kay Miss Reggie? Pa-type naman, pwede na or open na yung ating
Whoever will send an email, I can send them a resume template or an application letter template, depending on the need. So it could be for internship, but since most of them are already during their doing their internship, then the application letter maybe a year after. Yes, you can still email me. Yes, you can still email me for the application letter template and the resume advice, because the internship resume that you have now will be totally different once you start applying for a job.
Okay, so mukhang mula silang tanong, Miss Reg, mukhang maraming silang as in na graphs alam nila. Alam ko naman na ngayon na syempre, the ChatGPT or something, lahat ng format is available na. Pero sometimes you need the
Yes.
touch ng personal pagdating sa resume writing. How to
Oo.
make your resume stand out. Okay,
True,
it's not
true.
just about the design, but also it's all about the content in the format and how to put that specific content to a format.
Apo,
Okay.
let me just share, ma'am, like for me as a HR officer, we review like more than 50 or more resumes. So even if you have that content that you have gotten from Canva or from the different AIs, if you don't know how to place it in your resume, it's not going to be advantageous to you. Like right now, even with a lot of AI tools, there are still those who put their achievements at the back or at the second page. Instead, they put at the front page all their seminars and organizational involvement. So the first 10 seconds of your resume is what matters. So I hope that they would position their selling points at the front and as much as possible to have it as a one-pager instead of having it as two-pagers. Another would be a lot of typos, especially the numbers and the email address. They have to proofread, and it's sad that when reviewing the resumes, there are still those who make it too wordy that we don't have time actually to read all in paragraph form. So short bullet points will do. But of course, the bullet points also have to somehow explain, but not too long. Okay. So these are just some quick or very common, like 99% of the resumes that we receive. And then there's also reference. They also put the references on the resume. We do not advise this for data privacy purposes, even if you already got the consent of the person. Your resume will be distributed, or you don't know how your resume will be disposed of. So we suggest that you do not put your character references and their contact details when actively applying, but because companies will also ask you anyway if you will be shortlisted. So if your initial submission of resumes, please do not put your character references and their contact details. Do not also put your personal details, like your gender, your status, your parents' name, or birth date. These are this is the information that you should never put in your resume.
Okay, so maraming salamat, Miss Reggie. Miss Beron, to call on, to receive, ma'am, wait lang po Miss Beron, guys, kung wala pong tanong, type ang number 1. at para makapag-award na tayo kay Miss Reggie ng kanyang certificate. Miss Veronica?
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes po. You may award the certificate of appreciation para po kay Miss Reggie.
I would like to call on the ACAD org from ISA po, ma'am, to award po the certificate.
Okay. Mukhang hindi nasa Facebook sila. So, ma'am, isasend ko na lang po sa inyo po ang inyong certificate from the College of Political Science and Public Administration. Mukhang hindi sila nakapasok kanina. So,
It's okay.
this is a certificate of appreciation awarded by the College of Political Science and Public Administration and the Alumni Relation and Career Development Office. So, ma'am, in behalf of the Alumni Relation and Career Development Office, maraming salamat po sa inyo sa at least, di ba?
Thank you.
Yes, pagbibigay nyo ng knowledge sa ating mga estudyante na nandito ngayon. So, alam ko makakatulong ito sa ating mga estudyante, lalo na ito po mga estudyante na to ay gagraduate na by next year. Fourth year na po sila kasi ngayon, ma'am. So, most of them will be graduating po from the Bachelor of Arts and Political Science, Bachelor of Arts and International Studies, and Bachelor of Arts and Political Economy. So, BAPE pala sila, Bachelor of Arts and Political Economy. So, again, Ma'am Reg, maraming salamat po and thank you ha. It's Saturday, medyo na-storbo ko kayo yung sa Saturday siesta nyo. So, maraming salamat, ma'am. So, ma'am, po, email ko po sa inyo yung certificate niyo, ha?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you po. So, by the way, guys, I'm Professor Jane S. Fulma of the Alumni Relation and Career Development Office. At maraming salamat sa ating mga estudyante from the College of Political Science and Public Administration, Bachelor of Arts and Political Science, Bachelor in Political Science, Bachelor of Public Administration and Governance, Bachelor of Public Administration, Major in Financial Management, Bachelor of Political Economy. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. At para po sa ating mga student organization na nandito ngayon, hindi ko na po kayo iisa-isahin. Maraming salamat sa inyong tulong. So at least, 'di ba? This is the last round, the last session para sa ating College of Political Science and Public Administration student. Enhancement seminar para po sa ating mga third year. So maraming salamat, guys. And again, this is Professor Jane S. Fulma of the Alumni Relation and Career Development Office signing off. Ito na po ang ating PUP hymn. By the way, the link of the link of the evaluation is currently posted na po sa ating Zoom chat at sa comment section. Sa comment section na ating ng ating PUP Facebook page sa PUP Career Center. So guys, maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Ito na po, PUP hymn.
Ng bayan, pandayan ng isip ng
Philippines.